My business partner forged my signature on a contract that would have made me personally liable for almost $1 million in debt. When I examined the signature, I realized he had not even bothered to copy my actual handwriting. The forensic document examiner laughed when she saw it. I co-founded a small engineering consultancy with a man I had worked with for years at a previous firm. We were partners, 50-50, with a formal partnership agreement drawn up by an attorney neither of us had met before that negotiation. His name was Martin. The business did reasonably well for 4 years. Martin handled most of the client relationships and the business development. I handled most of the technical work and the operations. We both signed documents on behalf of the firm, but we had, in our partnership agreement, a clause that required any contract above a certain threshold to be signed by both of us. Martin, I learned in year 5, had been spending beyond our means for much of year 4. He had taken on personal debt to maintain a lifestyle that our business had not funded. He had tried to keep the business itself afloat by signing on to projects we were not equipped to deliver. One of those projects was a contract he signed in the spring of year 5. It committed our firm to deliver a large engineering package to a client in the energy sector. If the delivery was late or deficient, the contract included a personal guarantee from both partners for up to $900,000 in liquidated damages. I was not aware of this contract. Martin had signed it alone. He had, on the signature line for me, forged my signature. The project ran into trouble almost immediately. The scope had been misrepresented to the client. Our team could not deliver on the timeline. The client, after attempting to work with us for 2 months, served us with a notice of default. It was only at that point that I saw the contract for the first time. Martin brought it to me, hands shaking, and said, "We need to talk." I read the document. I read it twice. I asked him where my signature had come from. He told me I had signed it. I had not. I asked to see the original wet ink copy. He hesitated and said the client had the original. He had a scanned version. I looked at the scanned signature on my monitor. It was not my signature. It was not even close to my signature. My actual signature has a distinctive first letter, a specific slope, and a short underline I have used since I was in college. The signature on the document had none of those features. It looked like Martin had tried to produce a generic cursive version of my name without ever studying what I actually wrote. I did not confront him in the moment. I said I needed a day to think. I went home and called the attorney who had helped us set up the partnership and an independent forensic document examiner she recommended. The forensic examiner asked for the scanned signature and a set of known authenticated signatures from me. I sent her, through my attorney, about 15 samples from various documents over the years. She returned a report within 3 business days. Her conclusion, stated in a signed, notarized document, was that the signature on the contract had not been made by me, and that the variation was significant enough to rule out any normal signature variability. Her exact phrase in our verbal call was, "Whoever did this didn't even try." I met with my attorney. We discussed options. The cleanest path was the one I took. I notified the client directly, through counsel, that the contract had been fraudulently executed on my behalf and that I had not consented to its terms. I provided the forensic report. I provided my own sworn affidavit. The client was, understandably, not happy, but they were more interested in resolution than in a protracted fight. They agreed, with my cooperation, to pursue the liability solely against Martin personally, as the actual signatory and the person who had misrepresented the partnership's consent. Martin was sued by the client for the full $900,000. The partnership itself was not liable because the fraudulent signature invalidated the contract's binding effect on me and by extension on the firm's joint obligations. Martin declared personal bankruptcy the following year. The partnership was dissolved shortly after. I kept the operational side of the business and rebranded under a new name. Most of our clients stayed with me. I have been running the rebranded firm for several years now. Martin and I do not stay in touch. I heard through mutual contacts that he tried to rebuild in a different industry. I wish him no particular harm and no particular success. Here is what I learned. Partnership agreements are worth something when they are honored. When they are not, the paperwork you keep, the independent experts you retain, and the contracts you know are real are the things that protect you. Keep samples of your own signature in secure locations. Keep copies of every contract you actually signed. If someone ever produces a document with your name on it that you do not recognize, a forensic examiner can settle the question very quickly. Has anyone ever forged your signature? Tell me in the comments.